And we're here to start off the 2025 season and season one of Main Event Monday. We've same faces, different days, talking about different stuff. We have WrestleMania 25 today. We're going to talk about the happenings from WrestleMania 25 until now, or until 40, in the next 15 weeks leading up to WrestleMania 41. So, should be fun. And programming note before we get started as well. Thursday, we're going to have our football talk. We're going to be talking about the playoff picture and just the world of football in general. But yeah, let's get it rolling. WrestleMania 25. The reason we're doing this because I want to go back and rewatch them, and through the eyes of what we know is the future. Just rewatch it and kind of look deeper into these situations at hand. They did have a pre-show match. It was the Colognes versus John Morrison and The Miz.
I missed that one.
Yeah, the Colognes won, and they unified the tag team titles.
Okay.
But the start of the show saw a ladder match, a Money in the Bank ladder match, and this was the last time the Money in the Bank briefcase was on the line out of WrestleMania.
Right.
So 15 years ago was the last time it happened the right way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've been a firm believer, and I say this on every podcast when we talk about Money in the Bank. It should not be its own pay-per-view. It should be a match at WrestleMania. It should highlight and showcase great talents like it did in this, and absolutely this Money in the Bank.
I agree, 100%.
And a little bit of production notes for this one. This was at Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. The attendance that night was 72,744. The buy rate was 975,000. It's the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Now, people were debate that is that the 25th anniversary or is that the 24th anniversary? I've seen a lot of that when I was doing my research. Some say that was technically should have been known as the 24th anniversary because WrestleMania was just WrestleMania, not WrestleMania 1. So all these people in the social media realm that want to share their opinion, some say it's the 24th anniversary, but we are viewing it as the 25th anniversary, if I'm correct.
Well, WWE marks it as the 25th anniversary, so WWE is correct, and we're just gonna move along.
All right, good to say.
You know,
I seen that today. I'm like, wait. So
I'm not gonna sit here and argue
numbers or dates.
numbers with the WWE when they tell me it's 25th anniversary. It's 25th anniversary.
Correct.
So first match was again the ladder match. It had MVP. It had Shelton Benjamin. It had Mark Henry, had Kofi Kingston, Hornswoggle was involved, Fit Finlay, Tony Atlas came out with Mark Henry, and of course our boy CM Punk.
Yep. Kane was there too, right?
Yeah, Kane was part of that. The match went 14 minutes and 32 seconds. Had everything that you could want. Had the high spots, of course. Kofi Kingston being Kofi Kingston, doing his crazy stuff. What was the moment in that match that stood out most to you?
Just the spots that Christian and Punk were involved in. Just those were just I mean, but like again, it was Christian that was not. He was the charismatic guy. He was Punk being himself, and just the spots that these guys took, the chances they took. If I remember right, isn't that the one that they botched the ladder? No, that was the Hardy match. No, sorry, I got it. But no, these guys, man, just when they brought it. Okay, I guess one of the biggest ones was I loved it when they brought in the big ladders and the small ladders. I loved when Hornswoggle brought his little step stool. That was
Hornswoggle, yeah.
Fun. That, but I have to say, man, it was so star powered, and it was cool. This whole as I'm watching this WrestleMania 25, I'm thinking, he's still there, he's still here, he's still here, he's still doing something. They're all everybody that was in this one is still doing something somewhere, AEW or WWE, and that's cool.
Well, I think Kanan. There's 3 of them that aren't. I think there's 3 that aren't active. Finley's still involved with the WWE. He's a producer somewhere. Kane is doing he's the mayor of that in Tennessee.
Right. Yep.
And I guess MVP's still active. Mark Henry, he's not.
Yeah.
But he's doing stuff for WWE in the back, I think now.
Yeah, I think so. But no, that Hornswoggle moment, that was funny. That was cool. I can't say I'm not happy with the winner. I love that. I can't say that. I think that's good. But these guys are I've seen a lot of things that they're doing now that they did back then. I think it's pretty cool. Great match.
Yeah, I enjoyed that match. And again, that right there shows why that it needs to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You couple that match and then the one that Ken Anderson won. Yeah. They build stars. What better platform than the granddaddy of them all, the WrestleMania to showcase that.
Absolutely.
But Punk wins. That was one of his second consecutive.
Yep, WrestleMania. Yeah.
Second consecutive Money in the Bank championship, Money in the Bank briefcase he won. It's second WrestleMania, and that was the second time around was when Punk stopped his this, and then he started doing this.
Right.
He started elevating. And I think, and I'm not saying that the Money in the Bank is why he started his rise, but it's very, very well that that's what it was. Like that jump started it. That kick started it.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you, Matt. That Money in the Bank needs to not be its own pay-per-view. We've seen how failed it is. I mean, to me, that's one of the worst pay-per-views there ever is. I think they need to make that match in Money in the Bank. I mean, at WrestleMania, why not? Why not do that? That's
So the next one was it was Miss Mania Battle Royal.
Oh, I see you're skipping over the 10-minute concert by Kid Rock, right?
Yeah, because
boring.
Yeah, it's a dog and a song and orangutan titties. How many times are we going to hear that song? My name is Kid. No, we're good.
Way too long, boring. And you can't, after you have an exciting match like you had in the Money in the Bank ladder match, you can't have a 10-minute concert and throw us trash after the 10-minute concert.
Well, here's the thing. Like, why not? If you're going to give us a Kid Rock concert at WrestleMania, why not get rid of the Colognes versus Morrison? They went 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Put them there.
All that concert did was take away from another match.
That's accurate.
I mean, yeah, it sucked, actually.
So we have the Battle Royal, the Mae Young as special guest timekeeper. They wheeled her old bones out there. After she gave birth to Mark Henry's hand baby, they felt bad for her. And so that match, okay. I have to ask, when you rewatched it, was this the first time you sat down and watched
Yes.
25 from start to finish?
Yes.
So you didn't know who won the Battle Royal until it happened?
No. And
Okay.
I was shocked. I was shocked as all get out.
Okay. Let me hear what your initial thoughts were. Like what?
First of all,
as you were watching, just take us through the.
First of all, I didn't realize half the women that were in that goddamn battle royal were in there until they got thrown out. You didn't see them. And all of a sudden, oh, there's Molly Holly. There's this, and this. I'm like, okay. And the announcers were just ridiculous. I mean, it was a joke. It was they didn't, in my opinion, they didn't use the divas correctly. You know what I'm saying? I think they filled them in. They put them in there to get them tossed over real quick. But then when I realized Santino Marella was under that stupid black wig, I was like, yep, all we're doing now is gonna. So I had to go back and look why he inserted himself in that battle royal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And this is why. No. I started remembering about Santino Marella's, what went after that, you know? And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to have him win the belt, him win the battle royal. And I thought it was stupid. I thought it was not like a Royal Rumble women's match like that I want to see. Because in the Royal Rumbles, you get all these people. I mean, I don't want to give any discredit to Chelsea Green or whatever, but this match was so full of the gimmick women, gimmick, stupid, whatever, and I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it, man. And I wasn't a fan of Santino Marella winning it, and then claiming it's Santino's sister. Santina Marella. I'm like, no. So no, I didn't like it. Horrible.
So I knew Santina, whatever, wins. I knew that. So I was like, okay, when I watched it this time around, I was like, all right, I have to watch him specifically. Because I wanted to just watch, how involved he got into this whole thing. And anyone who's watching this, if you have 8 minutes, YouTube it, and just watch Santino Marella. Just watch him. He doesn't touch anybody.
Nope.
Until he dumps Beth Phoenix over at the end.
Yep.
That's brilliant. He'll go in there and he'll be like he's gonna do something and back up and It's like, okay. And you know what's funny? There's a certain person that will probably watch this back, and he hates gimmicks, right? He cannot stand gimmick wrestlers, but he loved Santina and Santino Marella.
Is that my boy Cody?
He's our producer, Cody. Now, in my opinion, you can't love a guy like that. You can't love a guy like that and hate on freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Right, exactly. Okay, so yes, I'll speak to that. Our Mr. Cody Cornett, he dogs on freshly squeezed. This Santino Marella is no different. If you can't love Santino Marella and hate on, no, I agree. You cannot. You can't hate on the Orange.
But that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
No, that's my opinion too. If you're gonna hate on that,
if he wants to hate on Orange, that's fine.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah.
So, it was entertaining, I guess, for what it was. It was a gimmick match. It is what it is. The next match was one of the matches that I watched a majority, if not, I watched this whole pay-per-view with my son, with Andrew, and he on this next one just had this. It basically says why are we doing this? And I didn't have an answer why, because I agree with them. This match threw Jimmy Snuka, who when he came out, he looked like he probably shouldn't have been out there. Rowdy Piper, who looked like he should have been in a nursing home at that point. Ric Flair came out with him, but he didn't wrestle. And the only guy that could go was Ricky Steamboat, and he looked really good. Yeah. Okay? So when you saw that match for the first time, since this is your first time watching, what'd you think?
I honestly said to myself, and it got to the point where Piper was laying on the ground on the mat looking like this, and I'm like, that guy looks old as shit. He looked horrible.
Yep.
Jimmy Snuka, who I love Jimmy Snuka growing up. I love his gear, his flying, and he looked old as shit too. He didn't need to be there.
No.
I put this. When I was watching this match, I'm thinking to myself the exact same thing I thought to myself when Flair had his last match.
That's fair.
Why are you doing this?
Well, and then
I agree. Steamboat, he looked phenomenal. I mean, he looked as good as a legend could look if you want him to wrestle, right? And of course, Jericho can wrestle a mop and make them look good. So, I just thought it was a why match. I agree with Andrew, a why match. Why are we doing this?
It was a nostalgia match. It was to thank people.
Yeah.
The story behind that one, the original match was supposed to be Mickey Rourke, actor Mickey Rourke, because he did a movie called The Wrestler. Okay. And it was supposed to be Jericho versus Mickey Rourke, but things just didn't happen for whatever reason. What's going on, Matt the Duelist? Welcome to the show. Thank you for stopping by, showing the love. Again, it was 25. That match was, again, like you said, Jericho at that point could wrestle a mop and look good. Right. And he wrestled two mops and a wrestler. Right. You know what I mean? Like, because it was 8.5 minutes, and it was about 3 minutes it was about 5 minutes too long.
I would have given it a 5 out of 10 if I had to rate it. I mean, the only reason why I think Ricky looked good. He did for his age. For after being out of the ring for 15 years, he did that. That looked okay. But no, I wouldn't give it no more than a 5 out of a 10 because
that's being generous.
That's that was bad.
The next one up is one of those matches that took years off of both of the guys' lives. Yeah. We have Matt and Jeff Hardy in an Extreme Rules match. Those boys beat the piss out of each other. They really did. It was two brothers beating the brakes off each other. Two brothers that love each other beating the piss out of each other. What do you think?
What do you think? If anybody watches Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy in a match together, and you don't think these guys are crazy, then you're not watching Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy I'm watching. These boys go balls to the wall no matter what. They still do. If you watch them wherever they're at, they still put on some shows. It was a brother, man. It was my brother and brother against each other, you know. And I can remember when my brother and I would have debates about football, you know, how angry we would get. These guys had that anger, right? And they took it out on each other. And that twist of fate that was hit at the end of it, holy shit. Nobody's getting up from that, you know. I was like, oh God. But no, it had everything that I would want from a Hardy match. Probably one of the best matches of the whole pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Wow.
If not the best.
Wow, that's a bold statement.
I mean, it had everything I wanted. Of course, and when we're talking wrestling, right? We're talking about. I think it'd be my best because I like that kind of match, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, I did like the last match. Don't get me wrong; it was hard to. No, I'm sorry. I liked the next one or the couple of matches down the road. That was probably the best match of the night. But this was up there. The Extreme Rules match was up there. I really enjoyed that.
Little side note. Since Matt's Duelist is in here, he's one of my real good friends from TikTok. And he posed a question. He asked a question the other day in our group chat. It wasn't a question. It was a statement given by Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy said that if he doesn't get into the drugs and alcohol, if he doesn't have his issues away from WWE or behind the curtains in the WWE, he could have been bigger than John Cena. Me personally, I say no. No, there's no chance. And you know me, I'm not a John Cena apologist. I'm not a big guy. I'm just thinking Vince McMahon ran WWF at the time. You look at the mainstays in WWF, the guys that did everything and were the face of the company. You're talking Hulk Hogan. You're talking John Cena. You're talking Undertaker. You're talking Brock Lesnar. You're talking Roman Reigns. Yeah. What do they all have in common? They're big dudes. They're marketable people. They're those larger-than-life characters. Right. They're characters. Right. Okay? I just never saw Jeff Hardy as a main eventer. I just never thought of him as someone who could carry the company to the next level. And
now put it that way, yeah, I guess so. But is he that much small? I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I think it goes to what kind of style of wrestling you like. I'm not a John Cena fan. I'm sorry, it's going to be shoved down our throat for 2025. Not that I'm not a hater, but I see where your comparison is. He's a larger than life dude, and Jeff Hardy's just a guy that's about 150 pounds soaking wet. You know, and he's that Extreme Rules guy, right? He's what we noticed. So, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, there were a couple people, and again, this is like totally off topic of it, but it just ties into Jeff Hardy. People were saying that Jeff is a main eventer or whatever. That my answer to that was okay. Then Darby Allin over in AEW is a main eventer. If you're going to use that logic,
right? But
he's not. In my opinion, Darby Allin is TNT champion. That's his ceiling. Like he's not going to be. He can't compete with the Moxleys. He can't compete with MJF. That's my biggest thing with a guy like Darby Allin. Is he fun to watch? Does he do the flippity flops? Yeah. And my body hurts after I watch a Darby Allin match, and I didn't even wrestle.
Right. That's why I see the comparison. That's a great comparison because that's what Jeff Hardy is to the WWF. He's a early form of a Darby Allin, and that's okay because we need those people in wrestling. We need those, you know.
And I'm not saying anything poor about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy does great work.
Yeah.
but he's not a main eventer. He's not that guy.
And I like Matt.
And again, this is all my opinion.
Matt Hardy then compared to the Matt Hardy now, I like Matt Hardy then. I don't like. I mean, it's okay to delete. I get that. But this guy that we've seen in that WrestleMania 25 he hadn't got to the delete part yet, and I think I liked it better without that.
I like early delete, the broken Matt Hardy, like the original broken Matt Hardy. We never saw that WWE.
No.
And it was buried at the bottom of TNA.
Yeah.
So we never really got a chance to enjoy it.
Right.
But next up is the shortest match of the night. One of the shortest matches of all time. And it brought one of the moments of the night. We had Rey Mysterio dressed as the Joker coming out. That was pretty sick, not gonna lie.
I popped for that.
And came out and he had a match with JBL. Now, again, you're watching all this for the first time.
Yeah.
What were you expecting as opposed to what you saw?
I expected a longer match. I expected to see JBL at least defend himself. But he got his ass kicked, and at 619, there you go. There's your winner of the match. And I love Joker. I loved it. I wasn't disappointed in that match. Could have went longer, sure, but hell, that wasn't a bad match. I mean, that was fun to watch. That was fun to watch Ray do his 619, and to watch a small dude like him beat a big tall guy like JBL. I like that. I loved it.
Now
of course, I'm a Rey Mysterio guy, so
yeah. The moment of the night, or the moment of that match, was not even during the match. It was after the match when JBL grabs the microphone. He goes, I quit.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
I
said, thank you.
I'm like, all right, well,
bye.
See you down the road.
Yeah.
They did that 21-second match, and then the match, you guys talk a lot on Tuesdays about overshadowing people, right?
Mm-hmm.
This match, and I understand why it was shoved at 7, or wait.
It was a 6 match. Yeah, 6.
It was shoved at 6?
Yeah.
Because the way Vince books things, the WWF champion, it will go on last. I understand that. Taker, HBK, should have probably gone on last.
Yeah.
Again, you watched it for the first time this past week when you sat down and watched it.
Yeah.
It went 30 minutes.
30 minutes of solid storytelling. 30 minutes of everything that you remember that I remember of Shawn Michaels with the super kicks and just the athleticism that he has. Undertaker, why not? Who doesn't like the Undertaker, right? And this match, it was probably one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. You have two guys like Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker out there. It should have been the main event. I would go past 10 with this rating. I wouldn't rate it because it was so good. 30 minutes that had my attention, 30 minutes of the tombstone pile drivers, the rope, everything that you see these guys do. Athleticism beyond belief. The big man had some athletic moments in that match. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, it was just amazing. I love the heat that was brought between the two legends now. They're legends now, right?
Yeah.
It it was worth watching the whole show to get to this match. I just loved it. I thought it was great, and the right person won.
And a beautiful thing about that match is Taker extended his streak, and the very next year we'll do it all over again. Yep. In HBK Taker 2. And we'll get to that. We'll be watching that this week and prepping for next Monday's show. But my thoughts on that match, it was a very well put together match. There were some moments that it went from up here. Up here. And then it dropped, like the bottom dropped out just a little bit, where it's like, okay, there's a little bit of a lull here. And it wasn't enough for me to be like, well, this match sucks. But it was like, okay. And because they were making the audience feel something, I guess. It was an up and down. It was like a roller coaster. And that's what you want a wrestling match to be.
Right.
So yeah, that was the number one match of the night without question. Like we said, two living legends, pardon the pun, two living legends, and at that, I mean, two now Hall of Famers. So yeah, rewatching that match, I had more of an appreciation for those two guys handling their business.
Yeah.
The next one was Cena, Big Show, and Edge. That match was okay. Yeah. It had one spot in it that really, the build up for that match, like the story leading from all, like back in, like on SmackDown and all that, leading to WrestleMania was better than the actual match was.
Yeah, I think so.
I text you.
The whole part where Big Show kissed Vicky backstage, and John Cena showed that on an episode of Raw or SmackDown and goes, "Uh-oh, Vicky, you have some splaining to do." That was an okay match, and I'm not shitting on John Cena.
Right.
His double, I mean, I guess when he lifted Show and Edge up together, and it sucks because I liked Edge. I'm an Edge head. I love Edge. It just, to me, that wasn't the moment that I wanted him to have at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, I didn't want him to win for sure. I was disappointed when he won it. But, nah.
Well, Cena won the match.
That's why I was disappointed. I wanted Edge to win. I was pulling for Edge when I started watching that match.
So, what do you think of that match? Like watching it for the first time?
It's all right. I mean, nothing great about it. You know, Cena won, which kind of put a damper on my liking the match. They all three worked the night there. You could tell that they're all three were very good at what they do. You know, their styles. And yeah, I just say this: I didn't like the outcome, but it wasn't not a bad match. I wouldn't say it was a horrible match.
No,
nothing to say. Oh my god,
that's fair. So the last match of the night, the main event, which could have gone on probably 9, or not at 9, but 8. Wait, it went on 8. Probably should have went on 7. Wait, no. Taker should have been 8. Taker Michaels should have been 8.
Yeah.
And Triple H Randy should have been 7. In my opinion. But I loved that this match. But again, you watched it for the first time, never ever putting eyes on this prior. Did you watch the stuff? Did you watch it on Peacock?
Yes.
So you saw the video package going. So you saw all the stuff that led into. Okay.
So that's what I was going to say. The video package leading into this was better than this.
Oh wow.
The match left me going, that's all? That's what we're going to get? That's it.
Okay.
Because I'm a big guy on build up. You had Triple H breaking into his house. You had the screams of his wife. You had these guys playing mind games for weeks with one another. And then I got this. Not that it's bad, but because I love the feud that Triple H and Randy Orton. It went on for years. Once he got kicked out of the Authority.
Oh, Evolution.
Once he got dropped on his head. I mean, I don't know. I love the build up before more than I love the match, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Did it deliver? Yeah. Did it deliver? Yeah, but I was like, okay, so we have all this before this, and then we got this.
Now, okay, I'm gonna say this. We dog you specifically dog on Cody a little bit here and there.
Cody Rhodes?
No, Cody Cornette. What you just said will make him happy.
Really?
Because he feels the same way. So Andrew and I, like I said, we watched this show start to finish together. He gets up after that main event. Very nonchalant, very just whatever. Gets up, walks away. I said, well, what'd you think? And he goes, it was a great match. Just a terrible ending. He goes, you knew when Randy pulled that sledgehammer out, the match was over.
Yeah.
And within like a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, the match was over and Orton lost. I think that was the last time Orton lost at Mania for a while. Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what. And he'll have his moments in the sun coming up here between 20 in the next 14 years. We'll talk plenty about him for the next Mania. Yeah. So we're almost to the 45-minute mark. From top to bottom, watching it all the way through, what was your thoughts? Like, as an overall show.
Overall show had everything a wrestling fan would want. They had the Battle Royals. They had the ladder match. They had the good versus evil. They had the brothers. They had feuds. They told stories. Not to mention they had stars. It was amazing. Minus the Kid Rock and the Divas match. Good show. I didn't have to listen to Kid Rock for 10 minutes and see the Divas. I mean, you had 10 minutes. I don't know how long the Divas Battle Royal went, but you had safely 25 minutes of sleep time. But my concern about that is the fans' involvement after getting lulled to sleep with the Kid Rocks and the Divas. They finally got into it thankfully they saved it, but it was an overall good show, except for I'd like to not see the two things I mentioned. I'm not a fan.
The one thing I'm going to nitpick, go ahead.
I would say 7 out of 10 show.
Okay. The one thing I will nitpick, because I'm reading more on the advertisements and everything for this, it advertised Raw, SmackDown, and ECW.
Yeah.
To me, if you're going to advertise at ECW, why not put their champion somewhere on the card?
Correct.
Again, this is just me nitpicking on something that happened 15 years ago. Well, 16 years ago now. That's my only nitpick. I thought the show from start to finish was a really good show.
Yeah.
Minus the 10 minutes that I skipped over because I knew it was coming. I mean, that's my only advantage to this is that I get to say, okay, Kid Rock's up next. Click. Nope, we're going to the next thing. I'm not going to sit through a Kid Rock concert.
Right.
But all right. Again, thanks everyone for. We're going to wrap this up here. Probably keep it between 45 minutes and an hour. This is the new. We're kind of configuring stuff still. And again, thanks Matt the Duelist for hopping in. I think we had like 3 or 4 other people that stopped by. Thank you to them if they watch this at a later date. Thank you to Cody Cornett for doing what he does backstage and everything. We give him a hard time, but he's a good dude and he helps us out tremendously. Thank you to all the boys on Tuesday night that ride with my bro, Rico, Nikki D, of course, Cody. Thank you, my brother, for doing this with me. Just something that I wanted to get back into the wrestling and do more content for the channel. And hopefully we gave everyone something that they enjoyed today. This Saturday, we're going to give watch tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, they're going to be talking Raw Rewind. They're going to be talking everything that Scott wants to talk about. That's his baby. That's his the flagship show of our HugePop Wrestling Podcast.
Also, Thursday, we have our football sports talk at 3:30 Eastern, followed by Thursday night. If you like indie wrestling, man, I guarantee you'll like the show on Thursday night. I have a guy from Southern Florida. He's just like us, but he's a wrestler, also, and he is known by the name of The Cheese. Don't judge him by his name. He's a big dude, and he's a hell of a wrestler. So he's going to be on the show on Thursday night, sharing his career as an indie wrestler, and then Matt can tell us about what's going to happen on Saturday.
Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 Central. We have the one, the only, the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. We know him from his time in AWA. We know his time in NWA, his feud with Bruno. He's going to talk about that. All those I'm going to ask him about his golf game, perhaps, because he played a lot of golf when he was in WCW. Commentator for WCW. He did everything in the business, and I really can't wait to pick his brain and see what he's doing these days. And might I add, and you can clip this and show it to him, I'm giving up an hour of my time because the Lions are playing that night.
Oh, shit.
They're playing at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
We might have to
the
bump
first
this.
hour. I'm going to give that up for you, Larry Zbyszko.
We might have to discuss the time frame here.
I'm telling you.
And it's my birthday too, man. But on the 18th, he will be on. We might have to do some time discussion. So that game, the Lions game, is what time?
8 o'clock. Starts at
Eastern.
8 Eastern, so 7 p.m. Central. Again, clip this. Larry, let me talk to you, buddy. Boo me. Boo on me. Boo you, sir. Boo you. But, yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on this week. I haven't put out any information, so we might change if Scotty does pull the trigger and move, not necessarily push it to a different day, but maybe earlier in the day it would be all right too. But again, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for being a supporter and if you are watching this for the first time, watching us talk about WrestleMania 25 was your first time watching this, click the like button, click the follow button, wherever it is, the Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. TikTok's going away in about 7 days. So if it's on TikTok, well, I guess you're not missing anything. But again, thank you guys, and that's the show.